After Phantom Nightmare, it's now easier to search for Coelacanth and then special summon it. Arionpos will banish Psiics from the deck, the Psiics will banish a fish from the graveyard, special summon the Psiics, and then use Psiics to search for Coelacanth and add it to your hand. Then you can link into Abyss Keeper using your Arionpos and Psiics and special summon Coelacanth to a zone that Abyss Keeper points to. So because Arionpos starts our combo, we're going to have to build a Ghoti deck that turbos Arionpos, and there are 3 different variants that do this. We have a standard pure Ghoti deck, a white aura deck, and a super heavy samurai deck. So today we're going to look at a Coelacanth deck that I built on top of a pure Ghoti deck. This is a similar combo I use in Master Duel, which involves setting a board that can do a double deep beyond, searching Enoch so we can search Ghoti Cosmos. Along the way we banish 4 or more fish so we can activate all 3 effects of Ghoti Cosmos. You can flip over Ghoti Cosmos on your opponent's turn, then your opponent will not be able to destroy in battle or negate any of your fish for the entire turn. We'll also have Jameer on the field, so your fish also cannot be destroyed by card effects or be banished. So your board cannot be outed by board breakers like Dark Ruler No More, Droplet, Raigeki, and we do have a way to counter Evenly Match. You can choose to summon Dragite instead of Jameer. Our combo will also end with Snopios in the hand, so if our board is broken somehow, we'll still be able to synchro summon into our fish that cannot be negated. I like this combo because it's not a negate board or a floodgate board, so there's room for interactions between me and my opponent. The opponent is not going to feel like I'm not letting them play the game. So this engine is only running 1 Beautiful Princess. I would prefer not to use any at all to make the deck more resistant to Ash Blossom. My combo doesn't need the tuna, but in case I do go off script, having that 1 tuna there can help me synchro summon using Coelacanth, a tuna, and a level 2 tuner to synchro into Jameer. The reason I chose Mina Ruka over Silent Angler is because Mina Ruka has combos to synchro into Arionpos without locking me out of special summoning, so I can still do a Coelacanth combo. Combos with Mina Ruka involve either normal summoning a Ghoti tuner or Leaf Fish to send a Ghoti tuner to the graveyard, and then using a Bishark to search for Mina Ruka, and then Link Climb into Marince's Coral Anemone to special summon the tuner and activate the effect of Mina Ruka. Then you can synchro summon into our Arionpos. My ratios for Foolish Goods is at 3 Foolish Goods to 1 Ice Barrier. This ratio has a probability of breaking that's around 1 out of 29 games, so it's a low probability, though you will notice eventually, but don't let that turn you away from this card because it's extremely impactful in this deck, because it searches for your best extender, Abyss Shark, as well as Coelacanth, Snopios, and Gameciel. Now let's take a look at the consistency. I prefer my decks to have a consistency above 80% for their best combo. Here we have 82% consistency for a Coelacanth combo. The 94% consistency for all combos include hands that also summon either Toad, Ascan, Deep Beyond, or Double Deep Beyond. We only have space for 7 hand traps, so what I've done is I've added 6 common crossout designator targets. The 7th slot is used for Gameciel. We can search for Gameciel with our 3 copies of Foolish Goods, giving us a total of 4 board breakers. I love cards like Foolish Burial that serve multiple purposes. It's a combo extender going first, but it can also be used as a board breaker going second. This allows me to make my decks more consistent and versatile at the same time. Another alternative to Gameciel is a newly released card, the Black Goat Laughs. You can send this card to the graveyard with Foolish Goods to declare 1 monster card name. This turn, neither player can activate monsters on the field with that original name. It's basically a faster sales ban, just something to consider as a Foolish Goods target. Now let's jump into the combos. The ideal end board has Jameer, a level 6 fish, both tuners, sometimes keep, sometimes not, with Snopios in the hand so we can banish the Psiics in the graveyard, and then use Psiics to search for Zep, and so we can synchro summon again on the opponent's turn, and we also have all 3 effects of Ghoti Cosmos. This combo is going to be the most common way to get Coelacanth, and that involves using a level 4 monster and a level 2 tuner to synchro summon into Arionpos, then activating Arionpos on summon to banish a fish from the deck. We'll banish Psiics from the deck. Psiics will then banish a fish from the graveyard, special summon Psiics from the banish zone, then search the deck to add Coelacanth to the hand, and then we'll banish a fish from the hand. If you didn't have another fish to banish, then you wouldn't add Coelacanth to your hand, you would just add a tuner and banish that instead. And then you would just do a Deep Beyond combo instead of a Coelacanth combo. So here we're going to link our 2 water monsters into Abyss Keeper to special summon our Coelacanth to a zone that Abyss Keeper points to. Then we'll discard 1 card to activate Coelacanth, special summon a Psiics, another Psiics, a Shift Fairy of the Ghoti, and a Lifeless Leaf Fish. Then we'll synchro summon into our Arionpos using Leaf Fish and the Shift. Then we'll activate the Shift in the graveyard by banishing it, targeting the Coelacanth, and tributing the Abyss Keeper to get rid of it. Using Coelacanth and a Psiics as a material, we'll link summon into Coral Anemone, then use Coral Anemone to special summon the Leaf Fish from the graveyard, activate the Leaf Fish on special summon. To send a fish to the graveyard, we'll send Snopios to the graveyard. Then we'll synchro summon into White Porpoise using Leaf Fish and Psiics. So the reason we have two Psiics is because White Aura Porpoise can special summon both of them from the graveyard, and now we have their effects active. Using one of those Psiics and Arionpos, we will synchro summon into Ascan. This is to get Arionpos in the graveyard so we can use its search effect. We'll banish the Snopios, and use Arionpos to add a level 6 or lower fish to the hand. We're going to add Enoch to the hand. And in the banish zone, Snopios will banish a fish from the graveyard. We'll use it to banish the Psiics, and then add Snopios to the hand. Using the Psiics on the field, we'll banish it to special summon Enoch from the hand. On summon, Enoch will then special summon one of those tuners back from the banish zone. Doesn't matter which one. We'll special summon our Jameer using the Psiics and Ascan. I prefer it to be in defense position so I don't have to waste its effect on a lightning storm. We can then use Enoch to banish a fish from the field or hand and search for the Ghoti trap. It would be better if you banish from your hand instead, so then you have an extra fish target for Ascan. In the graveyard, we'll use Leaf Fish to shuffle the Psiics, Ascan, and Arionpos back into the deck. And then we'll set the Ghoti trap card. So that's it for the combo. We have Ice Shade Jameer, we have a level 6 fish, and we have the Ghoti trap card and both tuners banished. And with more than 4 fish banished, when we flip over the Ghoti Cosmos, we'll have all 3 effects active. Just make sure to flip over the Ghoti trap card while you still have 4 or more fish banished. There is a chance you might use 2 random water monsters to link summon into Abyss Keeper to special summon Coelacanth. In this case, it means you haven't used up your Arionpos combo yet, so when you special summon Arionpos, you'll be able to banish Psiics from the deck. So here we're going to special summon Leaf Fish, we're going to special summon our Psiics, Schiff, as well as a Keef. So this combo is going to end on the same board as the last time with a Keef on top of it. So here we're going to synchro summon into our Arionpos using Leaf Fish and a Schiff. We won't be using Schiff to get rid of the Abyss Keeper because when Arionpos is summoned, we'll be able to special summon our Psiics from the deck by banishing the Schiff from the graveyard, and then special summoning the Psiics onto the field. And when that Psiics is summoned, we'll be able to search the deck for a fish. We'll use it to search for our Snopios, and then use the Psiics to banish the Abyss Keeper. It's important that you use Psiics to banish the Schiff because we're going to be able to get it back later. So now we're going to synchro summon into Ascan using the Psiics and Arionpos, and then use Arionpos in the graveyard to banish itself, and search to the deck for our Enoch. We need to special summon our Enoch, so we're going to be using our Coral Anemone to link away our Coelacanth and the Psiics. We'll use Coral Anemone to special summon the Psiics in the graveyard. Then we'll activate the Psiics, banish it to special summon a fish from the hand. We'll special summon the Enoch. On summon, Enoch will then special summon one of our banished fish. We use it to target the Schiff, bring it back so we can teach it how to synchro summon. Now we'll activate Enoch. Enoch will banish the Keef, and then add a Ghoti trap card to the hand. Using our Schiff and our Ascan, we'll be able to synchro summon into Jameer. And with Keef in the graveyard, we can now banish it. Now we have both of our tuners banished. We'll set the Ghoti trap card, and we'll activate the Leaf Fish in the graveyard to shuffle our Ascan and 2 other fish, but make sure to leave our Psiics in the graveyard. Then we draw a card. We're going to skip ahead here. Now it's the opponent's standby phase, and then we're going to be able to special summon our tuners. First, we're going to flip over the Ghoti trap card while we still have more than 4 fish banished. Then we're going to get our Psiics, our Schiff, and our Keef back, and really that's it for this end board here. Now we're going to special summon Coelacanth from the hand using our Psiics. This means we're not using Psiics to search for Coelacanth, so we can use Psiics Moonlight of the Ghoti to extend our combos. We're going to use Coelacanth to special summon Leaf Fish, Schiff, Psiics, and Keef, just like in our last combo. Even though we're special summoning the same 4 fish from the deck as our last combo, the journey to our end board is a bit different. This time we're special summoning our Coral Anemone before the Arionpos. We will use Coelacanth and Keef as link material to special summon Coral Anemone. And then we will synchro summon into our Arionpos with our Leaf Fish and our Shift. Arionpos will then banish a fish from the deck. We'll use it to banish Psiics from the deck. Psiics will banish Keef or a tuner from the graveyard. It doesn't really matter which one. Then we'll special summon the Psiics. And then add a fish to our hand. We'll add the Snopios to the hand. Psiics will then banish a fish. We'll banish Snopios. Snopios will then banish a tuner or Keef if it's still in the graveyard. Then we'll add the Snopios back to the hand. In the extra deck, we will grab an Ascan and then use the Psiics and Arionpos to synchro summon into Ascan. In the graveyard, we'll activate the effect of Arionpos, banish Arionpos to search the deck for Enoch. Using Arionpos, we'll special summon any fish from the graveyard. Doesn't really matter which one. Usually we use our Coral Anemone to special summon Psiics, and then use Psiics to special summon Enoch, but we already activated Psiics at the beginning of our combo, and it's only once per turn. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to special summon Leaf Fish instead, just to pile some more fish into the graveyard. And now we're going to link summon into our Abyss Keeper using Coral Anemone and Leaf Fish. Abyss Keeper will special summon Enoch to a zone that it points to, and then we'll activate the effect of our Enoch to special summon one of our Ghoti tuners. We'll special summon the Shift. Then, using the Ascan and the Shift, we'll synchro summon into our Ice Jade Jameer. In defense, in the graveyard, we will activate the effect of Shift, banishing it by targeting one fish on the field. Enoch will then banish itself to search the deck for our Ghoti Cosmos. And before we end our turn, we'll set the Ghoti Trap card and then activate the effect of Leaf Fish in the graveyard to shuffle our Ascan and Psiics and any other fish back into the deck to draw a card. Now our end board is complete. We have Jameer, a level 6 fish with Snopios in the hand. We'll fast forward a little bit. Now we have our Psiics, Shift, and Keef on the board. So let's say you can only special summon 3 fish from the deck with Coelacanth because something on the field is preventing you from special summoning a 4th monster. In this scenario, we're going to be using a Bahamut Shark to special summon a Toad. Summoning Toad can help us play through a disruption, but sometimes your opponent doesn't have a hand trap. So we can activate the Bahamut Shark, detach one fish, and special summon the Toad. And then we're going to special summon our Abyss Shark. Abyss Shark will then add any level 3, 4, or 5 fish, and it doesn't really matter which fish we add to the hand. We're just going to ignore the fact that it's a white sunfish. So we're going to link away the Abyss Shark and Bahamut Shark into Abyss Keeper. Special summon the Coelacanth to a zone Abyss Keeper points to. And now we only have space to special summon 3 fish from the deck. So we're going to special summon a Leaf Fish, a Shift, and a Psiics. This also means we will not have Keef for our end board. But who cares if we don't have SB Little Fish on our end board? We have a totally awesome. So now we can synchro summon into Arionpos using our Leaf Fish and Shift. So Arionpos will banish Psiics from the deck. Psiics Moonlight of the Ghoti will then banish the Shift from the graveyard, and then we'll special summon the Psiics. We use Psiics to add our Snopios to the hand, and then banish the Abyss Keeper from the field. If we want Jameer on our end board, then we can synchro summon into Ascan here, but alternatively, we can also special summon Dragite instead if we want to end on Dragite instead of Jameer. We'll banish the Arionpos from the graveyard, and we'll use Arionpos to add our Enoch. Now we're going to have to get Enoch on the field, so we'll have to bring back our Psiics. We'll link summon into Coral Anemone using Coelacanth and our Psiics. Special summon the Psiics with Coral Anemone. And then we'll activate the Psiics by banishing it to special summon Enoch from the hand. Enoch on summon will then special summon a tuner from the banish zone. We'll use it to bring back the Shift. So if we had Ascan on the field, we would synchro into Jameer with our Shift, but we want to keep Dragout on the field this time, so we're going to banish the Shift using Enoch so we can add a Ghoti Cosmos to the hand. We'll then set the Ghoti Cosmos, and then use Leaf Fish to shuffle 3 fish back into the deck. If you had Ascan in the graveyard, well, you'd be shuffling it back into the deck. So now we fast forwarded, we activated the Ghoti Cosmos, we got both tuners back, and now we have Dragite, Toad, and our level 6 fish on the field. So this is another combo involving another monster on the field like our last combo, but this time instead of Toad, we have Arionpos. So we're going to activate our Coelacanth, discard 1 card, and then special summon 3 fish from the deck. We're going to special summon our Leaf Fish, and both of our tuners, Shift and Psiics. Since we already activated the effect of Arionpos and Psiics to search the deck, we're going to have to do things a little bit different than the last combo. So here we're going to go into a White Aura Porpoise with our Leaf Fish and the Shift. On summon, we'll activate White Aura Porpoise to special summon a level 4 lower fish. We're going to use it to special summon the Leaf Fish. And on summon, Leaf Fish will activate its effect to send a fish to the graveyard. We're going to send Snopios to the graveyard. Then we'll banish the Shift, target the Coelacanth, and then tribute the Abyss Keeper to get rid of it. Then we're going to sneak into the extra deck. If you want to summon Jameer, then you would summon Ascan, but we can also just summon Dragite. So now we're going to use the Arionpos in the graveyard, banish the Snopios, to add an Enoch to the hand, and then use the Snopios in the banish zone to banish anything except Psiics, because we're going to have to special summon the Psiics. So we're going to banish any fish, add Snopios to the hand, and then link summon into Marinta's Coral Anemone using Coelacanth and the Leaf Fish. We'll special summon the Psiics from the graveyard, and then banish the Psiics to special summon the Enoch from the hand. On summon, we'll activate the effects of Enoch and target one of our banished fish. If you have Dragite on the field, then it doesn't matter which fish you special summon, because you're just going to banish it anyway with Enoch. But if you're trying to synchro summon into Jameer, then you would summon the Shift and synchro with your Ascan. So we're going to use Enoch to add the Ghoti Cosmos and set it onto the field. And in the graveyard, we'll banish the Leaf Fish, shuffle our Arionpos and 2 other fish, anything except Psiics. And then we'll draw a card. So as you can see, we're ending on a very similar end board to our last combos. We flipped over the Ghoti Cosmos, we have both of our tuners on the field, and now we also have an out to evenly match with our Dragite. Let's talk about how this deck plays against hand traps. The inclusion of Psiics and Ghoti means Ash Blossom is not as big of a threat to Coelacanth as it used to be. Many Ghoti players will use Psiics effect to search for a Ghoti tuner to banish, and then end their turn, completing their combo. So because there's a risk that Ash Blossom will be a dead card, and Psiics is the card that generates the most advantage by being able to search for any fish in your deck, it becomes more practical for the opponent to use Ash Blossom on Psiics and not let it resolve at all. This also means if your opponent lets Psiics resolve, there's a good chance they don't have Ash Blossom, Imperm, or Valor, and you can safely commit to a Coelacanth combo. However, if you wrecked your opponent in the first match with Coelacanth and now they know you're playing Coelacanth, then in the second duel against you they may choose to side in Nibiru and wait to use Ash Blossom for Coelacanth. That's where you can choose to side out Coelacanth, Enoch, and Ghoti Cosmos and just play a standard Ghoti deck. In this second match, your opponent might think you're still playing Coelacanth, so they decide to not negate Psiics because they want to save their Ash Blossom for Coelacanth, but after Psiics resolves, you use its effect to search for a tuner and banish it, and complete your combo before the 5th summon. Now both Nib and Ash are dead cards. Another out to hand traps are hands that summon Toad, but you need at least a 3 or 4 card combo to pull it off. Almost all of those hands involve Abyss Shark or Foolish Goods as part of the combo because they allow you to generate enough advantage so you can still summon Toad and have enough resources to do combos with Arionpos or Coelacanth. So in this replay, we've used Shathana and Rare Fish to make Bahamut Shark to summon Toad, and then we're going to use Abyss Shark to search for Leaf Fish. Then we're going to normal summon that Leaf Fish to send one of our Ghoti level 2 tuners to the graveyard. Then we can special summon that Ghoti tuner from the graveyard with our Coral Anemone so we can synchro summon into Arionpos, and then start our combo. And there are other ways to do this combo, where you can use Rare Fish to then special summon Abyss Shark, use Abyss Shark to search for Leaf Fish, and your Leaf Fish doesn't have to resolve, so you can always use it to just bait a hand trap here. And then with Leaf Fish and Rare Fish, you can go into a Bahamut Shark. With Bahamut Shark, you can then special summon Toad, and then you can use your Foolish Burial to search for Coelacanth, and then link your Abyss Shark and Bahamut Shark into Abyss Keeper to special summon your Coelacanth from the hand. If you're interested in making a Ghoti deck more resistant to hand traps, I recommend adding Gold Sart, which is about to get a quarter century rare in the second rarity collection. Your opponent can negate Arionpos with Imperm to stop you from banishing Psiics, then you can follow that up by using Gold Sart to banish Psiics from the deck anyway. We can also choose to play White Aura Ghoti or Super Heavy Samurai Ghoti. Both versions of Ghoti play better into hand traps, but they also come with their own flaws. We'll dive deep into those versions soon.